How's it going, everyone? It's Juan Romero here from Switchwatch, and I'm back with another review. Today it's a game called The Lost Child, and this one was provided to us by the publisher NIS America, so thank you very much to those guys. But is this one worth your hard-earned cash? Let's jump into the review and find out. Let's start off by saying that if you're not into religion, then this game's story may not be for you. You see, as the protagonist, you're a journalist and you're the chosen one. God has chosen you to wield a very special weapon to make sure that demons are kept at bay, and you've also been sent a very beautiful angel, albeit a very annoying one at times. She helps you with your investigations across Japan. Upon these investigations, you'll find that demons are planning to take down a god, and it's up to you, of course, to stop them. Now, in terms of gameplay, it took half an hour to get into the gameplay. I mean, it took forever. Anyway, moving on, I found myself getting impatient, as you do. See, I'm one of those gamers that just likes to get into the meat of the action, and I appreciate cutscenes, but not when they last this long. When you embark on an investigation, you'll reveal a number of layers. Now, layers are the game's dungeons, so to speak. You can control your character in a first-person perspective to explore the dungeon, and there is a map available. But I found moving through the dungeons to be quite an odd experience. There are 100 astrals to capture here, 250 new skills to learn, and some dungeons have over 99 levels to explore. However, are you going to want to explore all of those dungeons when they look as drab as these ones? We'll talk about that in the visuals in a sec. Now, as you move around, you can use the left analog stick to move in what seems like squares at a time. You can sort of turn 90-degree angles using the left analog stick to both walk and turn. The right stick doesn't do anything. It felt really odd. Soon you'll enter one of the many turn-based battles. Played any of the Atlas games and you'll know exactly what this is like. First port of call here, though, is to amass a team to take down all of these demon creatures that you come across. Now, you'll be helped by the angel at your side, and the rest of the team will be made up of enemies that you've defeated, but crucially, ones that you've captured using your special weapon. Now, once these enemies have been caught, you will need to purify them using karma, which you've amassed through defeating a number of enemies. You can also have a number of extras as substitutes in case you want to swap them in battle, and you can do this a number of times, but once the battery runs out, you'll no longer be able to swap once you're in a layer. You'll have to wait to recharge the battery once you leave. In terms of karma, it's used to level up your captured fallen angels or demons, and there's a lot of strategies that come into the game, and this is where I kind of enjoyed the game quite a bit. I find collecting demons kind of like collecting Pokemon, for example, and I found leveling them up to be rather addicting. The strategy involved in leveling up your team is something which does get you kind of invested before you know it. Do you make a few really strong team members but forgo the rest of the team due to limited resources, or do you balance out those resources between the team and have some strong substitutes as well? The turn-based battles are your usual pick and attack or special ability, which the demons or fallen angels have various different ones, and that's quite cool because if you find one that has a healing ability, that's going straight into the team because healing does become useful. Using MP is also crucial as some spells rely on that, especially healing abilities. I just found them all to be rather lifeless though, the battles. The kind of demons and that, they just kind of float there in front of you and don't do anything. It's just all a little bit odd. Coming across bosses can test the balance of your team, and if you've not strengthened them up, you'll be exposed really quickly. Lose all of your health on your main character, so you as the protagonist, it's game over straight away. Lose one of your team members and you can limp on though. Die and you can use karma to pay back to where you were, but if you don't have enough currency, you'll have to begin the whole layer again, which is kind of frustrating. So make sure you save wherever you see a save point within the layer. Picking up all items and equipping them to make sure I had all the stats does help your team. Now, when you leave the layers, there's a number of places that you can go to, have chats with people, explore, return to the main hub to see what investigations you've completed. And I kind of did enjoy that because you can ask people sort of questions and there's dialogue and all of that kind of stuff. So if you want to get to know the story a little bit better, that's quite a good bit of the game, and the cutscenes do look good. Moving on to audio though, NIS always publishes games and does a good job of choosing games that have decent audio. They've also localized this for the West.
Oh well, it'll be strange rumors, huh? Seeing as you like stories like, huh? Oh, but I'm the chief editor. I'm like the king of this castle.
So some of you are going to like the English dub, some of you are not going to like the English dub. You know, I've had many conversations about this kind of stuff before, and it always goes back to the same thing. For me, I prefer listening to the game in Japanese as it was originally intended. Now, of course, I don't understand Japanese, but as long as it's got subtitles, I'm absolutely fine with that. However, some people like to have the voice dub. If you like that, then it's here. In terms of, you know, the music and stuff like that, it's all very befitting of this game. God versus the devil, it's all very dramatic. The sound effects for the most part are decent enough. The visuals is a complete disappointed, I'm not going to lie. It's quite strong in the cutscene part of the game where your characters are speaking to one another, but that's where it ends. I found that when walking through the layers that the game takes a real turn for the worse. The textures within the dungeons are not detailed at all. It looks so bland and generic. I mean, I know exploring a dungeon is not supposed to be finding the eighth wonder of the world, but come on. It looks like there's been no effort put into this at all. You know, it all has a rather dark and muddy feel to it at times, and I can't say I was overly impressed here, especially when the game is £50. With all the characters, I mean, they were drawn rather well, and so were the enemies, but there was nothing that really sort of draws you in, nothing that inspires you, you know, nothing that makes your senses go, wow. Visual part of the game for me left me unimpressed, I have to say. So that moves me nicely onto value. The game is $49.99 and £49.99 on the eShop, and I'm just going to say now, it really irritates me when publishers do this, because £49.99 is not the same as $49.99. In fact, there is quite a difference. There's £12 difference in today's exchange rate. In terms of my summary then, there's no doubt that some of you will enjoy this game, but for me it lacked in several departments. Story didn't hook me in, and therefore I didn't feel invested in the game. Discovering layers is all well and good, but they're so generic that it never felt very compelling to explore them to the full. And the game does some things well. For example, the battles are quite enjoyable, but they become repetitive. Collecting demons or fallen angels and making a team is something I enjoyed, and that did make me feel more invested as you spend a lot of time leveling the team up. The cutscenes are also well drawn and offer much needed quality to an otherwise uninspiring looking game. There is an English dub which some of you will love, some won't. The game borrows from some of your favourite franchises, but it never delivers on the quality of any of those games. That's just, let's be frank about it. Overall though, I just don't feel this game warrants the high price tag, no matter how many hours of gameplay it offers. You can certainly wait for this one to go on sale before picking it up, or you can purchase it if you're a massive fan of games like SMT, but just know that this is of far less quality. For me, it's a 5.5 out of 10, so a little bit disappointing for me, unfortunately. But the good news is that there's always another video from us, that's for sure, and if you want to watch one of our reviews in the future, please make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're a new watcher here. Don't forget, we also have a website at www.switchwatch.co.uk where you can catch up on all the latest news, reviews and features. And lastly, don't forget, if you've got this game already, or if you just want to make a comment, we do our best to reply to everybody that we can, so we do make the time to do so. So pop me a comment down below, let me know what you think of the review or the game itself, or whether you're still looking to purchase this one. As I say, I wasn't too impressed, but you may be, so let me know your thoughts. My name is Juan Romero from Switchwatch. You know what I'm going to say, guys. I'll see you again on the next one. Take care.